Is Britney in a bad marriage?
Yeah.
Is Britney a bad mom?
That's America for you.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Jez. I am back here with another video. Welcome new subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys, everybody in the comments for my recent videos. There's been a lot going on, a lot of Britney, and there's going to be more. You guys have told me to watch Deep Dive. So it looks like they have a few documentaries. I'm going to be reacting to part 1. Instead uncovering her dark past, I think that's what it said. But okay, so that's what we're gonna be watching. We're watching part 1 of the Britney doc that they made on Deep Dive. Yes, because you guys were telling me that they were saying more stuff and covered more information, and how they're framing Britney, you know, kind of wasn't touching on a lot of things, and you know, it was kind of like, I guess, sugarcoating things. So we're gonna see what this is all about, because a lot of y'all were like, you need to watch this. So girl, that's what we're going to do, okay? Because yes, yes, free Britney. I'm with the movement. Yes, so girl, because you want to see our queen thrive, honey. We don't need her. We need her to be free, and she deserves nothing but the world, and her fans love her. So yes, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. You can message me, comment below. Oh, before we get into this, I just remembered. So I reacted to the Onyx Hotel tour and the Oops, I Did It Again special. It is not uploaded yet. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see the full reaction without any edits. Because if that is so, I would have to put it on Patreon. But I need to know if you guys are going to go on Patreon to watch it before I even, you know, decide to put it over there. So let me know in the comments if you guys would like that or not, okay? So let me know something. I will be mentioning it in the next few videos. Yes, girl, but let's get into this part 1 of this documentary, and let's get into the video.
From Kentwood, Louisiana, here is 10-year-old Britney Spears.
Oh, this is the Star Search. This is so good already. You better sing, little Britney.
People can take everything away from you, but they can never take away your truth.
Wow.
But the question is, can you handle it? Can you handle my truth?
Wow. What an intro.
The reason your hair is
That
thinning has been your shampoo.
crazy.
No matter what hair growth products you use, your thinning hair isn't improving.
Britney Spears is not in control of her own life. Over the past few months, hundreds of articles, clickbait stories, and TikToks have detailed the horrible tragedy that is Britney's conservatorship. Many painting it as a conspiracy theory, and others coming up with complex conspiracies of their own. But in this 3-part series, we are aiming to clarify and explain what is actually going on with one of the most beloved pop stars on the planet, and detail the horrific abuse Britney has faced not only at the hands of the media, but the people closest to her as well, people she trusted. So to begin, let's go back to where it all started, Kentwood, Louisiana.
James, aka Jamie Spears, and Lynn Spears married in July of 1976. Little did the struggling, small-town newlyweds know they would eventually give birth to an international phenomenon that would change our entire culture forever. Jamie was a building contractor, and Lynn would take care of Brian Spears, their firstborn. They were like many Americans living paycheck to paycheck, just trying to get by. But even before Britney was born, Jamie and Lynn's marriage always seemed to be in a toxic and unhealthy place. Living in a town as small as Kentwood, Louisiana, gossip makes its way around the town quickly. And on Christmas Day, 1979, Jamie was allegedly spotted at a local Kentwood bar cozying up to another woman. Just 1 week later, on January 2nd, 1980, Lynn Spears would file for divorce, alleging he committed adultery that night. She would also request a restraining order, worried that Jamie's reaction to the divorce could end up in harassment or even physical harm, especially if Jamie had been drinking. Lynn did end up withdrawing the divorce paperwork in March of 1980. However, Jamie's drinking would continue to escalate, and this would not be the first restraining order requested against Jamie Spears in his lifetime. On December 2nd, 1981, a pop star emerged from the womb, and her name was Britney Jean Spears. Born in Macomb, Mississippi, just 30 minutes away from Kentwood, Louisiana,
welcome to my hometown of Kentwood, Louisiana. It's a small town about an hour north of New Orleans. I feel the need for speed! Where I come from is country, and when I get back home, I start talking country again. Stuff like yonder and hey y'all, or what y'all doing, stuff like that. This is my great-grandmother. Everybody calls her.
They eat some crabs. Ooh, Britney eating them crabs. Britney was eating seafood boils. Ow! Okay. Oh, she's so cute. She better. Britney know what it is. Yes. Okay.
Kentwood is a tiny town with a population of 2,122 and a median household income that is half of the national average. This means that many are at or below the poverty line, and Lynn and Jamie Spears were no exception. Jamie's continued drinking would make it difficult for him to hold down jobs and support the family. Times would get so rough, the fridge would be empty, and Jamie would have to hunt in his backyard for small animals in order to feed the kids. It is now 1984, and Britney was just 3 years old when Lynn Spears saw star potential in her daughter. Lynn did not want to waste any time preparing Britney to be a performer, so she put her then toddler in voice and dancing lessons. This would be just the beginning of the stage mom years.
I think the biggest regrets that I have right now, by looking back, I didn't follow my mother's intuition a lot of times, or my gut instincts. I would let people talk me into things, or, influence me, and I was right. My initial gut instinct was always right on.
That's how it be.
And sometimes I didn't follow it. I have to laugh when I hear people call me stage mom, because right now I can see one of my students that I taught. He's now an English professor in a small community college. I'm a teacher at heart. The stage mom was not my choice, and I never was.
Many believe Lynn saw Britney's potential as her out from a toxic marriage and a life filled with financial struggles. However, the financial hardships and home life would only get worse as they tried to make Britney a star. Britney was a busy child. Aside from ballet, jazz, gymnastics, and voice lessons, she would also sing in her church's choir, compete in children's talent shows, join dance competitions, compete at the state level for gymnastics, sing on local television, and even did a short run of beauty pageants where she, of course, won the talent portion. Having Britney in all of these activities and competitions was really expensive.
Money was sometimes tight.
It was not unheard of for them to wear hand-me-down clothes.
It's kind of one of those things where you know it, you just don't talk about it.
Sending children to private school can get expensive for anyone.
It was really hard on them, putting her through, dance lessons and singing lessons and going to an academy like that.
There's tuition, there's registration, there are books, there are assessment fees. I would imagine having 3, it would be expensive to do.
This would only further the financial struggles for the Spears family and inevitably strain Lynn and Jamie's marriage even more. William Spears, brother of Jamie Spears, recalls when Britney was no older than 5 years old, Jamie Spears tried to drive off drunk with Britney in the car. William stopped him and they had a physical altercation in front of Britney, who was screaming scared. William also remembered a time when they were all in the kitchen. Lynn was just drinking a glass of water and Jamie walked in drunk, insulted Lynn, grabbed her glass of water, hurled it across the room, shattering. Britney was regularly witness to these drunken violent episodes and her parents regularly screaming at each other. Britney's Aunt Sandra was a safe place for her and they were really close. Many times when her parents would scream and yell, she would run over to her aunt's house to escape what was a very toxic, unhealthy home. Even throughout her career, she would find ways to thank her Aunt Sandra.
My beautiful, sweet family for just instilling in me the love of music, just teaching me diligence, perseverance, and always sacrifice no matter what the cost. I love you. And I want to thank the Lord for just proving to me I can do anything through Him who gives me strength. And I truly believe if you follow your heart, and most importantly, God, your dreams will come true. And these are for you, Aunt Sandra.
Another escape from home for Britney and Lynn would be performing. So in 1990, Lynn took Britney all the way to Atlanta, Georgia to audition for a spot on the Disney Channel's The Mickey Mouse Club. Britney was just 8 years old at the time, but she made it all the way to the final 6. However, she was told to come back when she was 10. Casting director Matt Casella knew Britney was incredible, so he introduced her to Nancy Carson, a New York talent agent. Nancy got Lynn to enroll Britney in the Professional Performing Arts School. Now we're in 1992, which was a huge year for Britney Spears because she debuted on the TV show Star Search. She did an incredible job, but she didn't end up winning. Even though a young Britney was rejected on live TV, this did not discourage her. In fact, it motivated her. Then talent agent Nancy Carson would get Britney Spears an understudy role along with Natalie Portman on the off-Broadway play Ruthless. Britney, her baby sister Jamie, and Lynn would temporarily move to a very tiny New York apartment. But Britney, she was young and she was working really long hours.
It was every night, and it was just like so monotonous. It was just, but then I kind of got tired, and I was gonna have to perform on Christmas night, and I was getting really upset, because I wanted Santa Claus, I wanted to be home with my family, and I think I was like 11 years old, and so I told my mom, because she always told me, whenever you want to pack up and just go home, let's do it. So I was like, you know what? I gotta go home. I gotta go home and be with my family again. Because I totally missed it. So we packed up and everything. But the day before we left to audition again for the Mickey Mouse Club, they had another, audition for it. It was like, this is like 2 years later. And that's when I got it. So I got to go home and experience Christmas.
The Mickey Mouse Club was truly Britney's big break at just age 11. It was filmed at MGM Studios in California. So Britney would live in California 6 months out of the year to film the show, and was working a full 9 to 6, which are pretty long hours for a child. She filmed for 2 years alongside Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, Christina Aguilera, just to name a few. According to Mental Floss, the Mickey Mouse Club contracts were exploitative, as the children would make $185 a week, which comes out to under $5 an hour with the kids working full days. After they wrapped up filming in 1990,
that's still money as a kid.
Britney returned home to be a typical kid for the first time in her life. Britney's parents at this point were really struggling, with the Mickey Mouse contracts not being that great. They've gotten into serious debt trying to make Britney a star. There were judgments against them to seize their property and sell it to collect debt and federal tax liens. At this point, the Spears family was going bankrupt. 1995 is the only year in Britney Spears' childhood where she seemed to live a somewhat normal teenage life. It was 9th grade and she was going to a typical high school, getting elected for homecoming court, and was dating the star football player Reg Jones. Reg and Britney went to prom that year, the first and only prom Britney would ever go to. But this year of normalcy would quickly come to an end.
After the success of the Spice Girls in the UK, the late 1990s saw a surge of interest in girl groups. Record labels in the United States were looking to capitalize on Spice Girls, and they were going to get their way. Britney was even in talks with Lou Pearlman to join the female pop group Innocence. However, Larry Rudolph, then entertainment lawyer who Britney had met when she was 13 through Justin Timberlake, had a different idea. Larry wanted to pitch her to record labels as a solo artist. So Britney recorded a demo and flew to New York all by herself for one day to sing for various labels. Most turned her down as they were all looking for pop groups, but Jive Records thought Britney had just the commercial appeal they were looking for, and on August 4th, 1987, Britney changed the world forever and signed a recording contract with Jive. There are tons of theories across the internet about how they worked to change Britney's voice before recording her albums, the iconic Britney Spears baby voice we all know today. Britney loved Whitney Houston and sang in a deeper voice in her earlier days. But they needed a pop icon, and Britney would be just the one to deliver that either way. And just like that, Britney was off to Sweden to record part of her first album with Swedish songwriter and producer Max Martin. On October 23rd, when Britney was 16, Baby One More Time was released as her debut single and would become one of the best-selling singles ever released, launching a small-town Britney into an international pop star, thus kicking off the 21st century pop renaissance. On January 12th, 1999, Britney took the pop music scene by storm and released her debut album Baby One More Time. It reached #1 in 15 countries, becoming the best-selling debut album of any artist to date. This was huge. In just a few short months, Britney Spears was a household name. She was winning awards, opening for NSYNC, and touring across malls in America. You could not turn on your TV in 1999 without seeing the 17-year-old pop sensation Britney Spears.
Female vocalist or female artist of the year would be, and the choice female artist is, and the choice female artist is,
And the winner is
Britney Spears. Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
Yes, get your keyboard. Yes, this is amazing.
Babe, have you seen my balls?
Rob can't find his balls.
Yes, all the commercials, all the
What came
awards,
along with this
all the
newfound stardom was
performances.
Britney being turned into a teenage symbol. They would often ask teenage Britney really invasive questions.
It's classic Britney, as a magazine said, a kind of puzzle under all those shifting images. Playing innocent, and then playing the shock for all it's worth.
We look at you like you're a little girl. No. We look at you like you're a big skank. But nice of her to try and break free of her kitty pop image and show she's an independent woman by becoming a boy for a group of sweaty guys. I am woman. Hear me, whore.
I would like you to talk to the young kids and tell them Britney Spears should be grounded for wearing that. Did you see what you're an adult woman. You're a grown-up. Britney Spears is 18. She's like, you know, takes 2 Band-Aids and she's singing there. I don't appreciate that.
She's a nice girl.
She's very nice, but the trampy outfits have to go.
But it's gonna be hard to hear the criticism, and I know, Lynn, as a mom, you've been criticized too. You know, like, why do you let her go out looking like that sometimes?
Ooh.
How have you dealt with it, and what advice have you given?
Looking
Britney
like
about her
what?
age?
Well, and what people don't understand is that
What about
Britney
those
doesn't
gorgeous
go
right now?
out looking like that. I mean, when she goes to some party, or if it's the Grammy or whatever, that's where you dress up.
Being a girl,
That's
being
a
dressed up.
costume. That is glamour.
Then I sit and think, okay, what does a 15-year-old girl think about this? Do you concern for the social setup when you make your videos? Do you say, you know what, I don't want to be represented in this particular manner?
I'm the one that they're like, take that off. So we need to put you in something a little bit more appropriate. Not that I'm like, like scandalous or anything. No, that sometimes they try to, dress me in a proper way.
Now that you're 19, is there part of you that just wants to say, why is it wrong?
Everybody's going to have an opinion, and you can't please everybody, but I mean, as long as you're comfortable, let's say wear what you want to wear, you know what I mean? It's all in how you carry yourself and how you live, and, that's what it boils down to.
The wife will keep all of this.
Why would you say that?
I can't help that, and if the parents don't like them to see it, then change the channel. So, sorry.
Her single life was regularly questioned, and that's when Britney said she was saving sex for marriage.
Do you wish you'd never said anything about the virginity thing because it's going to follow you to wedding night?
I kind of wish, I kind of do, because when I go overseas, you know, they'll ask you questions about it, and it's just something that's there, and you can't help it.
Which then the media became obsessed with Britney and her virginity.
I'm just wondering how you feel about all the constant speculation about your virginity and whether you are a virgin or not.
I really wish I would have never said anything to begin with, because I'm kind of stuck in this little place where people are always asking me, but you know, that's just something that's part of growing up, and that's just something that we all have to deal with, so.
Have there been any changes on that front?
That's a personal question.
This is you talking about Britney. Would you walk around the street in an effing bra? She's not being herself up there because she's dancing like a hoe. Is she a hoe? She says she's a virgin. You know, it's just not clicking. End quote. Avril Lavigne on Britney Spears.
There's one subject we didn't discuss. What was that? Everyone's talking about it. Well, your breasts.
My breasts.
You seem to get furious when a talk show host comes up with this subject. Okay, let's in general. What do you think about breast implants? Just in general.
That's not,
If that's what you want to do, and that would make you happy, then I see nothing wrong with it. But I haven't done that. But I think it's sad that people, you know, think I've done that because that makes them want to go out. And, you know, some of the fans that look up to me, they either think bad of me or they may want to go out and do that. But that's not my fault because the press started that.
Amongst all these disgusting questions and uncomfortable interviews, one of the most iconic relationships to date formed. Britney Spears started dating teen heartthrob Justin Timberlake. They became pop royalty and the it couple that the media could not stop talking about. And in 2000, Britney kept that momentum going. In May of that year, she released Oops, I Did It Again. This album was another huge hit and her second best-selling album to date. In the 2000s, Britney also began forming her pop star image. She would often push the envelope, much like Madonna in the 80s and 90s, but she was taking it even further. For example, at the 2000 VMAs, Britney performed Oops, I Did It Again, and at the time it was considered extremely controversial because of her nude-colored outfit and dancing. Almost everything Britney did at the time was considered a scandal. In the following year, Britney released the album Britney in October 2001, and songs like Slave for You and I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman had the media already talking. But then Britney performed the 2001 VMAs with probably the most iconic performance ever. She started off in a cage with one of Doc Yantle's tigers and would proceed to put a giant yellow snake around her neck. That image of Britney with the snake around her neck has been one of Britney's most iconic moments. And the next 2 years were just as eventful for Britney. A now 21-year-old Britney was working on her next album and her movie Crossroads premiered. 2002 was a difficult year for Britney because the good girl image from her teen years was still so heavily pushed onto her into adulthood. She was constantly criticized for being too sad, having to be this perfect role model for millions of kids around the globe. Britney's aunt was also diagnosed with cancer. And in 2002, the pop culture defining relationship between Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake had just as big of a fall when Britney and Justin went through a very, very public breakup. And Justin was not shy about airing relationship details. He also alluded to sleeping with Britney on Hot 97 FM when promoting his album, as the media was still weirdly obsessed with knowing if the world's pop princess had been active. Justin took it further and hired a Britney lookalike for his song about their breakup, Cry Me a River. And this is where you see the shift against Britney Spears in the media start to begin. Britney was trying to shake the teenage image, and the media started to paint her as the villain in every aspect of her life. Then, the 2003 infamous VMA performance happened. Britney and Madonna kissed on stage, and the world went wild. And in 2003, on public television, this was considered shocking, and the media treated it as this huge deal.
Madonna was great, you know, kissing Britney. It's like, where's my kiss? And it was unbelievable. I didn't know what to think. It just kind of happened right in front of you, and it was just, you had to take it in.
Come here! Madonna and Britney! No! Are you one of those straight guys who fantasizes about two women together? And is that too personal of a question?
Yes and yes.
Every straight male has that fantasy.
Which it was pretty iconic to see Britney and Madonna kiss. However, the media took this way too far and tried to paint Britney as the villain even further by saying she's a horrible role model, One public official even got in trouble for saying that Britney Spears should be shot for kissing Madonna on TV. Around this time, Britney also released her fourth studio album, In the Zone. With hits like Breathe on Me and Toxic, this proved to be one of Britney's most iconic and successful eras to date. Everything Britney touched was gold. Anything she did was so talked about that she, as an entertainer, changed the pop music and entertainment industry forever. With iconic music videos like Toxic and performances to follow them up, Britney Spears was the name on everyone's lips in the early 2000s. Unfortunately, around this time, photos of Britney doing normal things for her age, like smoking and drinking, started to make the rounds in the media, saying that Britney was a terrible role model.
The reason your hair is thinning has been your shampoo? No matter what hair growth products you use, your thinning hair isn't improving.
And that people should stop supporting her. The harassment by the media was getting out of hand, but no one, especially not Britney, was ready for what was about to come.
2004 marked a major shift in Britney's life. She clearly had enough of the control behind the scenes and the media's portrayal of her. It is January 1st, and Britney is spotted dancing the night away at Rain, Las Vegas with Jason Alexander, a childhood friend from Kentwood, Louisiana. Jason and Britney are having such an amazing time in Vegas partying that in the early hours of January 3rd, they have an idea to do something wild and crazy. Britney and Jason hop into a lime green limousine and head down to the Clark County Courthouse to get a wedding license. Then at around 5 a.m., they arrive at a little white wedding chapel, famous for quick middle-of-the-night weddings. In just minutes, Jason and Britney laughed and cried their way through the infamous wedding ceremony. When Larry Rudolph and Lynn Spears learned of Britney's marriage, they went into a panic, and damage control mode set in. Larry went to George Maloof, owner of the Palms, for help getting an attorney to annul the marriage immediately.
After the quickie Las Vegas wedding, the poop hit the fan. Lynn went insane. They sent like an army of lawyers pouring into Vegas.
We just received a decree of annulment. There is no marriage now. They're both very happy that they've made the decision that they made to annul the marriage.
And at 4:30 p.m., Britney and Jason signed the annulment papers. According to George Maloof, they were tickled pink and gleeful when signing on the dotted line that would end the famous 55-hour marriage.
By marrying Jason, Britney may have been seeking revenge on the advisors who sold her as an untouchable virgin. And somewhere deep inside, on the mother who agreed to market her as a baby-faced sex bomb.
When you look at Britney, what has her life been like? She's been managed. She's been managed by her mother, managed by managers, managed by the media. And so here she has a moment of freedom and a moment of self-choice. And she goes, you guys can't control who I am. You can't control what I do. I can do whatever I want.
2004 would continue to be a year of rebellion. Britney was working on her fourth studio album that never saw the light of day. All we know of what was probably going to be one of the best pop albums of all time is what Britney herself leaked without her team's knowledge.
How soon? 5 years? Would you like to have a guy?
That would be the ultimate dream.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Are you thinking you'll wait till you're 30?
I don't want to wait till 40. No. I would love to have a family. That would be when I'm the most content. My kids and just, they become your life. It's not all about you anymore, and you have a focus that's so beautiful.
She then locked eyes with Kevin Federline, who was previously a backup dancer for NSYNC at a Hollywood club. Kevin said it was love at first sight, and just like that, their whirlwind romance would begin. Kevin, however, was currently engaged to Shar Jackson, and they had their second baby on the way. The tabloids would explode with images of Kevin and Britney together, and Britney was being branded a homewrecker. But Britney didn't care. She was determined to live her life without the opinions of others influencing her. Just weeks after meeting, Britney invited Kevin to come with her on her European tour in London. During the tour, they would become the first vlog couple as they captured their romance and would later turn the footage into their own reality show called Chaotic. On the flight back, something big would happen.
How did he propose? Can I ask that? Or is that too much? Am I being nosy?
I proposed.
You proposed? Mm-hmm. Really?
How to stop buffering issues anywhere, anytime, instantly.
I didn't know she proposed.
And did he say yes right away?
Not right away.
No? Yeah, because it didn't look like he wanted to get married. He said love is love, and that's a commitment.
Ellen is always in your face.
A little rejected at first. Kind of got slapped down.
No, I told her, I told her that
it's not right for the woman to ask the man. The man's supposed to get on one knee and do it all right, and this and that.
Whatever. Yeah. Exactly. Whatever.
Exactly.
So then you then had to turn around and ask her.
Yeah, it took me about 5 minutes and I turned around.
Really? That's sweet.
Then on September 18th, 2004, Britney and Kevin invited their family and friends over for what was supposed to be an engagement party. But it was actually a surprise wedding that Britney and Kevin had fully planned out. On October 15th, Britney announced on her website that she was taking some time off and she would let US Weekly overexpose other blondes for entertainment. At this point, she had had enough and was ready to just be a newlywed and start a family of her own. In April of 2005, just 1 year after meeting Kevin and marrying him, Britney announced that they were expecting their first baby.
Is having a baby a good career move for Britney? No. But is it a good personal growth move? Yeah, absolutely, because Britney has been controlled by her mom and her managers ever since she was like 9 years old. By having a baby, you can't take that away from her.
I think that's what we're seeing a lot of Britney's life right now, is the pendulum swing of having been controlled and contained so much by what other people have decided is right for her.
On September 14th, Sean Preston was born. For the first time in Britney's adult life, she was living exactly as she wanted. Because she was taking a break, she wasn't being exploited in the media as often, and she was getting to spend time as a new mom in her new home in Malibu. Things were really looking up, but unfortunately, this would only last for a very short period of time, as the media started to exploit her child and paint her as a bad mother. The paparazzi would harass Britney while she had her tiny baby with her. This could put Britney and her baby in potentially dangerous situations, as back in 2006, we didn't have the paparazzi laws that we have today to protect celebrity children.
She says her greatest accomplishment is being a mom.
So there were no paparazzi
But the one
laws
thing
at
that
the
gives her
time?
so much
That
joy
explains
is
a lot.
ironically the very
Because they
same
would've
thing
leave her
that's made these
alone.
past few months a very difficult time for Britney Spears.
In her face.
In February,
It's crazy.
Britney was photographed driving on the Pacific Coast Highway with her baby in her lap, in the front seat. It was a picture that became not only a punchline,
but in her defense, the baby had to sit on her lap because her husband Kevin was asleep in the child seat. So apparently,
but the source of serious debate all across the country.
I think it's very important that Britney gets some baby safety training.
But the fact of the matter is, while they pursue you, and we can argue for a long time, they shouldn't be doing it. And I would agree with you on that completely. They managed to snap a picture that didn't cast you in the best light.
Oh, of course. That is their job. And they do a very good job at it. And they've crossed the line so many times, you know. And I think because I'm a sweet young girl, nothing ever gets really done about it, you know.
When you were driving with Sean on your lap, did it clearly?
And it's seriously that driving incident. I did it with my dad. I'd sit in his lap and I'd drive. We're country. That's what, you know what I mean?
But what happened, though, it crossed from a paparazzi incident to next day, it's in the newspapers, and you've got all these legitimate people weighing in, saying, you know what? That's dangerous.
That's what they always
and she
do.
put her child
They
at
always
risk.
weigh
You
in.
saw the questions that were being asked. Is Britney a bad mom? It's not like, did Britney record a bad song? Is Britney wearing a bad outfit? Is Britney in a bad marriage?
Yeah.
Is Britney a bad mom?
That's America for you.
Yeah, but as a mother, that has to hit pretty close to home.
Yeah, it makes you really strong.
Make you weep?
Oh, I've wept. Yeah. I've definitely wept just with the world, you know, how judgmental they are. You know what? I know I'm a good mom.
But just a few weeks after the baby in the lap incident, Britney's son, while in the care of a nanny, fell out of a high chair and banged his head.
You took him to the doctor?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So you walked into the hospital and said he bumped his head, fell out of a high chair.
And then the doctors acted really funny with me. I know. It was really bizarre.
Well, how'd they act funny?
I don't want to say, but they did.
Suspicious?
Like I said, I don't want to say what they did or what they said. But it was bad. It was really, really bad.
Do you think, though, Britney, that because of those questions that were asked after that picture on Pacific Coast Highway with Sean in your lap, that the doctor in that emergency room or that hospital said, wait a second, maybe I have a bad mom on my hands?
I was just happy that my son
I don't
was
like
okay.
this man.
And
He
I wanted
makes
to
me
get
want
home
to
and
like
get out of
smack
there.
him. Like,
And then Not long after that, you got a
Like,
visit.
why are you being so
from
rude?
family
Why are you
services.
saying those
Yeah,
things?
in which actually they felt really bad about it. They said, we don't even know why we're here.
So in other words, they came because it's their job to come. They have to investigate.
They didn't have to come.
They didn't have
the
to do
doctor there
nothing.
made them come because I didn't bring my doctor there with me. So people a lot of times think because you're a celebrity that you're taken care of more. In some situations, people, you're not, you get it worse.
In another incident, Britney and her baby were yet again
'Cause
being
you're a
harassed by
celebrity, and they're looking
paparazzi,
at you
making
like,
it difficult for her to even get to her car. Britney tripped, almost dropping Sean, but she caught herself. Later that day, that situation really shook her, and she was spotted crying in a restaurant. But even the owner of the restaurant started taking pictures of her. And Britney, just tripping over her feet for just a moment and catching herself, was used to paint her as this person who saves her coffee over her baby. There was no empathy for this new mother, and the media didn't care about the potentially dangerous situations they were putting her baby in. All Britney had ever wanted was to be a mother, but she was watching her baby get exploited in a similar way that she had been. As she was going through all of this, the media didn't know it yet, but she was actually already pregnant with baby number 2. On top of the media being pregnant and adjusting to motherhood, Britney's marriage to Kevin was on the rocks. At that time, fans and tabloids were not a fan of Kevin. They felt like he was always in it for the money and the fame. There was even a popular website started called DivorceKevin.com, and there was even a petition asking Britney to divorce Kevin that got 200,000 signatures. Then on September 12, 2006, Britney gave birth to Jaden, her and Kevin's second son. After the birth of Jaden, her marriage went on a downward spiral. Kevin would leave Britney, who was just a few weeks postpartum, to go party in Vegas, and that would be Britney's final straw. In November of 2006, she would file for divorce, and this would be a major turning point in Britney's life. Nothing about Britney's childhood was typical. It's almost like she was specifically made just to become a star, pushed into this life from when she was a toddler. Then this life turned into one of her few escapes from her dad's alcoholism and her parents' screaming matches. But then, her only escape was exploited for everything it was worth by the media, her family, and people she trusted. A very betrayed Britney Spears was heading into what would be the worst year of her life. And the world didn't know it yet, but we were going to be witnesses to one of the worst abuses of the media in modern day history. Pop culture was about to be changed forever.
To be continued. Wow. Okay, you guys, so that was part 1 for Deep Dive's documentary uncovering Britney's dark past. Wow. So I'm really annoyed because these people that interviewed her, they just made it seem like she was supposed to be this, perfect role model, and they just put her on a high pedestal like she's not a human, like I said before, and like they're trying to paint this picture that she was just a horrible person, a horrible mom, a horrible this, a horrible that. It's just like, and she can't even wear what she wants to wear, like, and why are you questioning her about her body, about why she's wearing this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, can she live her life? Like, give her a break, let the girl breathe. That's ridiculous. I'm gonna watch the other parts. Yes, girl. Make sure you comment below, leave your requests. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. We can talk, chit chat, all that good stuff. And thank y'all so much for watching.